Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Aokana. Extra 2. I just came back from the gym and I just ate some food. I actually got Subway today because they got a deal on a footlong and a free 6-incher. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I can actually eat a 6 or, a footlong now. I used to be able to. I used to really be able to eat super big. But I started recomping, right? And I started cutting a tiny bit, so I don't actually know whether or not your stomach doesn't expand if you don't eat too much, or when you don't eat till you're super full. But I do believe that's actually true, since ever since I started cutting, there's no way I could eat as much food as I did when I was, say, eating those many donuts before, like a couple of months ago. And yeah, I ate 3/4, no, sorry, not 3/4, but 3/4 of the footlong. And I'll probably eat the 6-incher and the leftovers from the footlong for maybe dinner later on. So yeah, that was pretty good. They're about what, maybe $8 for that. So not that expensive. I think usually when you go to Subway, you get 2 6-inchers for about $7? I could be wrong, but you do get drinks with those $7. It's a combo deal. But you don't really need to get drinks, at least in my opinion. When you get drinks in fast food places, they tend to be a lot more expensive than you want them to be. Unless you're trying to just stay there, because usually they have free flow. But yeah, if you just want to take the food back home, it's usually a waste of money. But yeah, not so bad. My ears are also not as bad anymore. What I do realize though, my sinuses is so clear the past, yesterday and today. Because I've just been blowing my nose constantly so that my ears would pop. It's crazy. I actually think that my voice sounds different too. Ever since I did that, I kind of hear my brother's voice when I'm talking to the mic right now, so very awkward. But enough about that, let's actually talk about the last episode recap. But yeah, I'm probably about 80% or 90% on my ears, so I don't think I actually need to go to the hospital to get this checked up. But I'll see in a week. But yeah, it's not really that bad anymore. Exercising also helped me pop it too. But let's actually talk about the last episode, like I said. So in the last episode, we went over Prez's, development arc about how he viewed Shindo-san. I'm pretty surprised though. Shindo-san is probably he is pretty cool, but he doesn't really have as much development as any other character so far. He's always been that character that's just super good at the sports, but we don't really know much about his character whatsoever. He wants to be a pro, he's super serious, he's really good at FC, but that's all we know. He admires Aoi-san, Shirase-san, and also Masaya, but that's it, right? We don't really know much about him. Prez got his own arc, so last episode. We also got Misaki's second H scene. Misaki's getting pretty serious about training again, and she's trying to learn the air kick turn from Asuka. And I think we stopped here at this might be another training session, but we'll see. Misaki, don't focus on his back. Just keep touching him until you break his form. Are we fighting Prez here? Yup. Okay, yeah, we are doing the practice match. I think we're trying to do the same practice just like in Takafuji during their off-season. So they're trying to do practice matches first instead of warming up and then slowly get into practice matches at the end. Prez's flying form crumbles as he tries to dodge Misaki's consecutive lunges. Prez, use your repulsion from being touched to escape. This match is composed of two halves. Misaki tries to stop her opponent and keep them locked down. Prez tries to escape when he does get stopped. It's only been a week since we changed the setting on Prez's graph shoes. Oh yeah, we did that too. We actually, I think, made the membrane tilt a bit to the left so that he can use the repulsion from the boy to go even faster. So his movements are still sluggish. Not to mention, Misaki was already a far better player. Prez, you gotta make the most of your graph shoes at times like this. That was kind of a nice close-up. Misaki bends forward and goes to circle around behind Prez. Prez attempts to turn around to keep up. The moment he does so, Misaki looks around, shocked. What, did he do some shunpo bullshit? Prez, touch her! Misaki, escape! Misaki gets touched, the point field spreading out behind her as she goes tumbling forward. So they're not gonna explain what the hell he did? Misaki shrieks as she tumbles forward before suddenly shooting in the complete opposite direction without losing speed. That was? Huh? It was? Masaya grabs Asuka's hands and starts jumping on the spot. Madoka places her hands on Masaya's shoulders as she jumps around. It's instant transmission, Asuka. Honestly, I don't know. Stop being idiots. Everyone just calm down. They're being ridiculous. The excitement and surprise of watching that series of incredible feats has our little gallery all worked up. Neither players knows what happened either. They're both hovering up there in shock. You just did an air kick turn, right, Misaki? She doesn't sound very confident. Now I get it. Being touched causes the membrane to really shake. Because of that, Misaki was able to feel it far more clearly than usual. You're telling me, man, that most people, or some that are already pros, cannot even use the membrane at all. Misaki trains for 2 days and then she's able to do it, huh? Ah, very typical freaking sports anime protagonists. Try and see if you can do it again. Misaki flies slowly forward, tucking her knees up toward her chest as she reaches her hands down to her feet. Her posture breaks as if someone's tugging on strings holding her up, and she goes tumbling. I have to admit, it does seem like she's going to be able to keep her speed while changing direction.
その前の部長の動きは？
あれは一体何だ？体が勝手に動いたんだ。あんな風に動くつもりはなかったんだろ。
やはり超能力
Mashiro gulps.
ですね。
Well, I don't. Drop the whole idea from your minds already.
私の設定を変えたせいでしょうか。
I'm pretty sure that's where the reason lies myself. Ah, now I get it. It's obvious now that I take a moment to think calmly. It is? I don't think so. He was supposed to be just like turning around, right? And then suddenly he was behind Misaki? How did that happen? This is certainly not something that we could use in a tournament, but it might be the perfect one-time weapon to stab Shindo-san with. But they didn't tell me what the hell happened. What did he actually do? How does it work? So they're just gonna say it's like his secret weapon without telling me how it works? Come on now. Good job, you two.
変な試合になってしまったな。
ですね。なんか試合の内容は途中ですっ飛んでしまいましたもんね。部長もすごかったですし、美咲ちゃんもすごかったです。びっくりと嬉しさで頭が変になっちゃいそうですよ。
Oh, I was actually blowing my nose there when I was muting the mic because I thought someone else was gonna say something. Mashiro nods along beside Asuka.
エアキックターンは成功するし、超能力者は生まれるし、びっくりです。兄ちゃん、力に目覚めちゃったみたいだもんね。
Press stares at the palm of his hand. No, it isn't. I have an explanation for everything that happened. First, I need to explain to Press what just happened.
マサヤ部長さん？
Misaki raises her hand, looking questioningly at me. What's up?
私は。
Yeah, it's probably about time, I'd say. About time for her to start trying out the diagonal shortcut.
やってみたい。
So she's supposedly learning how to dodge suicides, I think, from what we talked about 2 episodes ago, right? If she were to try to practice the diagonal shortcut. Asuka exchanges glances between the two of us.
何のお話ですか？なんだか楽しそうな予感がします。
We've got something we want to try out. Would you mind playing a match against Misaki?
もちろんします。どんなことを試してもらえるのか楽しみです。アスカは強いな。美咲ちゃんの方が強いと思いますけど。そんなことない。アスカの方がずっと強いよ。私、新しいことをやろうとしてるんだけど。
Asuka hops on the spot. Was I gonna say hot?
すごく楽しみです。新しいものって怖くない？何をされるかわかんない状態ってすごく楽しくないですか？そういう気持ちが強いなーって話。私はそういうの怖いからさ。怖いより楽しいの方が強いでしょ？
Asuka looks like she's about to say something before she folds her arms and thinks to herself. Misaki looks anxiously at her.
アスカ？結局は一緒なんじゃないでしょうか。
I mean, it depends on, like, your feelings, right? When you're scared of something, you're gonna be quite cautious. But if the feeling overwhelms you, then yeah, you're gonna be not able to react to what your opponent is doing. But when you're having fun, I feel like you're... I I don't know. I feel like it's probably because it's a different sport. I feel like when I'm having fun doing something, it's because the sport itself is fun. And you know, even though cycling is a competitive sport, at the end of the day, I feel like it's an individual sport unless you're in a group, of course, right? Like if you're into Peloton. But if you're like single, like, you know, a single racer, I feel like you wouldn't really be paying too much attention to individuals other than yourself. You'll take a look at the pack that's actually leading the first team. But at the end, you're probably just gonna be like just pushing all out without thinking too much about what the other team are doing. Well, I don't know though. Maybe there is some strategy involved in, you know, going for feints and stuff like that too. Sometimes that does happen when you take a look at cycling. But, you know, the thing is, even though I know a lot about cycling, I don't know a lot about competitive cycling. I don't like watch the Tour de France. I don't watch, what's the other thing that's popular right now? Gravel stuff. I don't watch like endurance long rides. I don't watch those stuff, right? So even though I know a lot about cycling, a lot of my knowledge about racing in general is pretty shallow, so I'm probably not the type of person that should comment on this. So maybe they're actually the same. You know, like what Asuka's trying to say here.
一緒？はい。私は楽しいからいろいろやってみたいし、いろいろ見たいと思います。でも怖かったらいろいろ防げるし、対策をちゃんとしようって考えると思うんです。
You know, she actually makes she explains it way better than me. That's actually a pretty good explanation.
だから楽しくても怖くても結局は似たような場所に行けるんじゃないでしょうか。
Misaki stares at Asuka in amazement.
私また変なこと言っちゃったでしょうか。
Misaki's shoulders drop as she laughs.
やっぱりアスカはすごいや。
That's something I have to agree with. For all of her optimism, there's a pragmatism to it as well. Either way, those were the exact words Misaki needed to hear right now.
そっか、そういう考え方もあるんだね。なんかその心が楽になったような気がする。そうですか？じゃあ試合をしようか。私試してみるからよろしくね。はい、受け止められるように頑張ります。
I won't be giving you two instructions. At most, I'll point out where your opponent is when you can't see them.
わかりました。
Misaki and Asuka activate their graph shoes and fly up to the start line. Masaya nervously tugs on my sleeve.
試すって何をですか？
A new form of positioning. I hold my breath as I look up to the sky. Wait, come on, they skipped it? Wow. I was amping myself up there to see if there was gonna be some new development. Practice is over and I'm walking Misaki back home. We've taken on a slow pace, out of desire to be together for as long as possible. No more visualization training till you get home. Too much of it and you'll tire your brain out. Then the thoughts will just be spinning aimlessly in your head.
頭が焼け切れそうな雰囲気あるからね。コーチの助言に従って少し休みます。
You got to use the diagonal shortcut. Misaki gives a slow nod, seemingly holding back her excitement as she thinks back on her match with Asuka.
使えた。ちゃんとかどうかわからないけど、とりあえず思っていた通りの飛行はできたよね。
You did.
予想通り、 水シーダーを使ってきたよね。
The first thought most people in that situation would have is to send your opponent below the boy with a suicida. So Asuka's able to do that? I don't think she was able to do that before, right? So main character, you know, protagonist powers, just suddenly be able to do that. Well, Masaya was able to do it, so maybe doing a suicida is not as hard as we thought it was, or I thought it was.
もっとうまく止めることができればなって思う。明日から真白に水シーダーを止める練習に付き合ってもらおうかな。でも私の練習に付き合わせたら悪いかな。
Nah, you don't need to feel bad. This is exactly the kind of practice Masaya needs.
真白にとっても
I think the reason she hasn't come out of her shell yet is because she doesn't have any confidence. Once she realizes she can do the suicida, and do it well, I think that'll make her a lot stronger. Knowing that you have something special, something you're good at, does wonders for your confidence. She can make that the center of her strategy, which will give her an easier time in matches. Of course, it's possible that she turned into a one-trick pony. Pony? Yeah, pony. But we can worry about that later. First, she needs to gain confidence.
マサヤがそう言うなら遠慮なく頼もうかな。
I don't think I saw a full stop there. Yup, I see that typo. Misaki casts her gaze down and to the side.
アスカと試合をしてるとき思い出したんだ。
What?
乾さんのこと。次に試合するときは私の展開に付き合ってほしいって言ってた。その意味を私は取り違えていたのかもなって。
Misaki pauses frequently as she speaks.
あれってその負け惜しみって言っちゃうと悪いけどそういうことだと思ってた。だけどそうじゃないのかもしれないなって。
There's a stiffness to Misaki's voice, like she's trying to dislodge a shard of glass stuck in her mouth.
乾さんは孤独だったんじゃないかな。
Huh? But she was friends with Arena-san.
そういうことじゃなくてポジショニングで試合を組み立てる展開ができるのは乾さんだけだったから寂しかったんじゃないかなって。私やアスカも少しはできたけどそのだから
Oh, sorry, Misaki. Misaki fumbles for the words. You think she finally felt as though she'd found someone who thought about matches in the same way as her? That's very hard to say. I mean, I get it, but that's a very hard to say sentence.
もしそうだとしたら私は残酷な返事をしちゃったのかもしれない。
What did you say? I only remember that Inui said to Misaki that she should have used the sumo a lot earlier in the match. But I don't remember what Misaki said. I remember what she said.
だからもし次やるとしても乾さんに勝つためにいろんな作戦を考えると思います。乾さんとポジション争いをするとか恐ろしすぎます。私釣れない返事をしちゃってさ後悔してる。今日の試合を乾さんに見てもらいたいって思った。アスカと私はとりあえずここまではできるようになったよって教えたい。
You think Inui would be happy about that?
どうだろうね。わかんないけど。でも私は見てもらいたいって気持ちだな。そういう気持ちだ。
You'd be giving her something to sharpen her knife with if you did.
自分でもこんなこと言うのは信じられないんだけど磨いてほしいって思う。 私のためにナイフを用意してくれるなんてちょっと素敵かも。私のことを考えてくれるわけだからさ。
I don't know, Misaki. In my opinion, sometimes it's better for people to not think about you. She giggles.
もっと言うとさ、刺されたいのかもしれない。刺されてびっくりしたいって少しだけ思うよ。
I don't know. I mean, that probably applies to not just FC. Like, some part of me also wants people to refute what I say sometimes. Because, you know, like, people don't really talk about logic every single time, right? And, like, when I'm playing, like, a visual novel like this, it's always going to be very subjective. Like, who I like, and then the reason why I like said person or said emotions and stuff like that. So, yeah, I guess part of the reason why I do Let's Plays is because I want to refute, or I want people to refute what I say. As long as the argument makes sense, I wouldn't mind listening to them. But sometimes people actually don't have a very coherent thought pattern. That's why, I don't know, sometimes I just disregard a lot of people. Your heart's gotten stronger, Misaki.
いやいや、こんなの言ってるだけだからね。マサヤが対角線ショートカットを教えてくれなかったらこんなこと言えなかったかもしれないし、本当にやられたら絶望的な気持ちになるよ、きっと。
Misaki grinds her feet into her shadow as she walks forward.
でも、いつか乾さんと試合したいな。
You'll meet again somewhere if you keep playing FC. I'm sure of it.
そうだね。続けていればいつか会えるか。
She mutters, as if trying to persuade herself.
でさ、試合まで1週間もないけど、新藤さんと佐藤院さんって結局どうなったか知ってる？
I asked Ichinose about it yesterday. Apparently, even she doesn't know. They haven't attended practice once since then. I'm sure Shindo-san won't drop out of the match, but still.
その様子だと一ノ瀬ちゃんがセコンドってことに？
They have so many club members, I wouldn't like to guess. They have so many club members, I wouldn't like to guess. What is this sentence?
部長に有利な流れが来てる？
I feel like that's supposed to be like two sentences, but it's merged together. Whatever's going on with Shindo-san isn't important. We're getting Prez ready to win. We're liable to start slacking if we go making any dangerous assumptions right now.
マサヤってさ。
She looks at me anxiously. Are you worried about something? You know you can talk to me about anything. Misaki picks up a pebble from the roadside and chucks it in the direction of the sea.
マサヤは新藤さんと部長どっちが好きなの？
I'd have spit out my drink if I had one.
私はどんな答えでも受け入れる覚悟はしてるから。マサヤが浮気症なのは知ってる。
The hell? How am I a playboy? And I like both of them, but probably not in the way you're thinking.
新藤さんとベタベタするのに部長ともベタベタするよね。
Excuse me?
好きな人同士が戦うわけじゃない？マサヤの気持ちってどうなってるのかなと思ってさ。
I want Prez to win, 100%. I have no conflicting feelings in the matter. I am his second after all.
へえ、新藤さんが負けてもいいと思ってるんだ。
Well, when you put it that way...
愛する者同士の戦いだもんね。
Look, I'm not cool with Shindo-san losing, ever. Thinking back to the time he lost against Inui makes my chest hurt, even now. I admire Shindo-san, and I empathize with Prez.
新藤さんへの憧れはわかるけど、部長に共感？マサヤと部長って全然違うと思うけど。
I empathize with the part of him that's stubborn about all the wrong things. I abandoned FC, and Press is obsessed with speed. I know at least in my case, I was too stubborn to give in. Would I ever have given in if I never met Asuka? The thought terrifies me. My admiration for Shindo-san wouldn't fade just because he lost.
へえ、それってもはや愛だよ。
She sounds creeped out. As long as it's the kind of love you're talking about, it's fine, right?
そういう意味での愛ならいいんだけど。
What are they talking about? What love? Well, that's the only love I have for him.
夏の間、ずっと付き合ってもらったんだから、部長を全力で応援するつもりではいたんだけどさ。
She smiles in an exhausted, relief kind of way.
相手が進藤さんっていうのは複雑な気持ちだから。でも安心した。私も部長をちゃんと応援できると思う。
Yeah, I guess she was voicing her own anxieties by asking us that question. She was trying to confirm her own feelings about the matter. We start walking again. After a while more of idle chatting, Misaki's house comes into view. Misaki stands in front of the gate, grinding the sole of her shoe into the ground while staring at me. What's up?
私、いつかマサヤと本気の試合をするよね。
We are. That I can promise.
その時の私のセコンドはマサヤじゃないわけだ。
I can hardly participate as a player and second at the same time.
今の私ってマサヤがセコンドじゃないと全力を出せない状態だと思う。
I want to immediately tell her that isn't true. Only, I feel like if I did say that, I'd be denying everything that got us to this point. So I can't bring myself to.
マサヤが安心して私のセコンドをやらなくてもいい状態になりたいって思うんだよね。マサヤがいなくても全力を出せる私になりたいんだ。
Misaki says slowly, reflecting on the words as they pass her lips.
当然みなもちゃんとの試合のためにイメージトレーニングをしてるんだけど、
Misaki stares me in the eyes.
私とマサヤのためにイメージトレーニングを必死でやってるというのもある。誰がセコンドでも全力でやれる私になりたいから。
My chest throbs. You've been thinking about me this whole time? I'm happy to hear that. Truly I am.
今回の特訓がどれだけの意味があったのか確かめたい。だからその
Misaki gulps.
試合ではみなもちゃんの場所以外の指示は出さないで。私が自分で考えて試合を作りたい。
You do realize the opposing second is Shirase-san.
自分で動けるんだって自信が欲しい。それを持ってないとマサヤと本気でできない気がする。
So I was right in thinking that Misaki did have a problem about Masaya was giving her specific instructions, but it was a totally different feeling compared to what I had in mind. I thought she was actually, you know, she felt inferior because she was only doing what Masaya did. But no, she's actually... What's the word I'm looking for? She doesn't even think that way. She just wants to surpass Masaya's expectations basically now. Maybe she was feeling like that before, but this was actually not addressed before this current discussion. Okay, if this is something you want to do, then it's fine by me. I imagine this is something she needs to do to move forward. She laughs feebly as the sudden burst of willpower leaves her.
私ちゃんと成長したいんだ。FC でもっとドキドキしたいし、FC をもっとちゃんと愛したい。
Misaki's looking forward in a positive light.
それともう一つ、 みなもちゃんとの試合は真面目にやる。だけどみなもちゃんをバカにしてるわけじゃない。みなもちゃんと試合をするのはちゃんと怖い。だけど
You want to play against Shindo-san too?
どうしてそう思ったの？
You're being really positive right now. You give the impression that you're ready to overcome your obstacles. That's how I knew.
みなもちゃんとちゃんと試合ができたら進藤さんとしたい。進藤さんは私より確実に強い。そういう人と真剣にぶつかった時、自分がどうなるのか試したい。
You might get completely overwhelmed.
私は打ちのめされたいのかもね。佐藤院さんがアスカと進藤さんの試合で怒っていたじゃない。どうしてちゃんとアスカを追い詰めなかったのかって。
It was as if she'd been anticipating Asuka to do something even greater than ever before... Oh my god, this is such a weird sentence. It was as if she'd been anticipating Asuka to do something even greater than ever before if he had given chase. Jesus, the sentence. Like, I get it. Ugh. This translator is just gonna give me a different, like, kind of... What's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but basically it's the same thing that I used to do during the base game with that current translator, but this one does something different. But when something is off, you kind of know it instantly, like boom.
私はぶつかって受け止められた時に、今の私が何を思うのか知りたい。だから進藤さんと試合をしたい。え？
I start ruffling Misaki's head.
ちょっとこれは何かな？
Hold still. Misaki shifts her head in time with my hand. Her head remains so fixed in place, I may as well just be resting my hand on her head. What a moment for her to show her dexterous side.
こういうタイミングでのなでなでは、私みたいにセクシーな女の子にはふさわしくないと思う。
What would be appropriate then?
靴にキス？
How messed up would our relationship have to be for me to show you my love for you by kissing your shoes? Misaki starts grinning mischievously.
私のこと好きだなって思ったの？
I do.
まあ、そういうことなら、撫でられてあげてもいいけど。
She says with a giggle. Let's go challenge Shindo-san when your match is over. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. You really started looking forward, Misaki.
いやー、自分勝手なこと言ってるだけな気がするけどね。
You've got to be selfish if you want to get stronger.
そういうものなのかな？
Well, it's a different kind of selfishness though, because remember, I think 2 episodes ago when she said she shouldn't be selfish when she doesn't want to actually fight someone or have a match with someone. Like, the feelings are the same, but the actions are different, right? I don't know. Sometimes I don't think I can distinguish the difference. Even though the actions are different. Like, if the feelings are the same, why would you go through with another... I don't know. Why would you like be okay with this selfish part of you, but you wouldn't be okay with that last selfish part of you? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deeply about this. I don't know. It is, so be as selfish as you need to. I pat her on the head again. Right then, gonna get my workout in by running home.
ちょっと待った！
I turned around and am about to run off when she grabs hold of my shirt and pulls. What's up?
いや、頭を撫でておいてそれだけで帰るって子供扱いすぎる。ちゃんとギュッとしてから帰って。
I hug her head on. What? You hug her head?
マサヤ。
Oh, I hug her head on. Okay, I'm like, what? I was actually misunderstanding that sentence like 100%. Jesus. Misaki rests her jaw on my shoulder, her breath grazing my ear as she whispers.
ホーンが鳴りました。
Huh?
私はセカンドラインにショートカット。マサヤはどうする？今のマサヤじゃなくて少し未来のマサヤ。きっとこうなってるって姿のマサヤはどうする？
A practice, nay, an imaginary match. Where do you shortcut to?
今回は対角線を使わない。中央付近の高い場所で待機。
I touch the second buoy and move into the second line, descending slightly, using gravity to accelerate. Then use a low yo-yo to shoot for the third buoy.
行かせない。背中を狙って急降下。
I use the scissors, trying to mess up your sense of distance with the movement.
私は惑わされません。
My scissors are wild and quick, you know. Misaki continues gently.
マサヤと本気の試合の最中だよ。すごい気合が入ってるし、最初から集中力全開。そんな私が序盤でミスすると思う？
I rub my cheek against hers. Maybe you make a mistake exactly because you're so worked up. You often hear about that happening.
しない。
Misaki states firmly, while nuzzling fawningly against me. Then I descend to put some distance between us.
意地でも V タッチを狙うつもり？
The common strategy is to overpower fighters with speed, right?
意地悪しないで。向かってきたら？
I am gonna be mean. I'm taking this seriously too.
だったら私は上昇して逆に V を狙う。マサヤは結構下がってるよね。だったら私の手の方が先に V に届くかもよ。
It's actually so cool that they like have the CG for this imaginary match. Like it hasn't happened yet, but you know for a fact that this is gonna happen in the future. It's pretty cool. I don't know about that. I started ascending toward the buoy.
ここで誘いに乗ってくれるなんて意外と素直だね。上昇するなら V からマサヤに狙いを変える。
Now who's being mean?
私意地悪するのもされるのも好きだから。
My cheek is hot. Misaki's temperature is rising. In that case, I challenge you to a dogfight.
私が意地悪してほしい時に意地悪しないでここでそんなことするんだ。ドッグファイトで勝てる？
Maybe I've been hiding my fangs all this time. Just how many dogfights of yours do you think I've seen, Misaki?
隠した牙なんかより私のむき出しの牙の方が強いと思う。ここで勝負を決めちゃおうかな。
Misaki squeezes me tight.
ドキドキする？
More than I ever imagined it could. I can hear my heart pounding. Although, since our cheeks are pressed together, it might be Misaki's heartbeat I'm hearing.
マサヤ、私早くしたい。こういうこと想像して待ってるんだよ。
Me too. I squeeze her back.
マサヤのことちゃんと届けたいって心の底から思ってるんだから。
That's right. I need to move forward. I've let everyone get pretty far ahead of me. But even so, I need to push on.
一緒にご飯を食べましょう。
That's the 9th achievement, by the way. That was a really sweet scene, actually. The romance for Masaya and Misaki is very developed in this after story. Like, in the base game, I really thought that Masaya liking Misaki was random. Their dynamics are great. It's just Masaya noticing that he likes Misaki was random in my opinion. Someone on my Discord actually said that Masaya wasn't the smartest tool in the shed. So that's why he actually, maybe he, you know, maybe the feelings he thought were love were actually not love when he thought about Misaki. So that actually makes sense. So he probably didn't think, he thought it was love, but it wasn't, right? But as time goes on, it turned into actual love. That actually is, that makes a lot more sense than what the hell just happened throughout the story, right? But they never give that context that it was a mistake that Masaya thought it was love. So it's basically a fan theory, right? But I do think it makes a lot more sense that way. But yeah, in this one though, the romance is for sure very developed, and even though I myself am not the biggest fan of romance, this, like, the interactions between Misaki and Masaya and their back-to-back, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they push each other forward for a positive thing. That's something that I feel like everyone could understand and probably want, right, in a partner. In Asuka's case, it was like that, but it also felt like we weren't really pushing Asuka to further heights. She was doing so herself. So it felt a bit one-sided, the whole relationship. In this one, this is actually a very healthy relationship in my opinion. A much more natural, like, relationship. Misaki groans, slumped over her desk.
今日も眠そうですね。イメージトレーニングのしすぎだよね。兄ちゃんと似て極端なとこあるよね。
Misaki still looks half asleep as she grabs a pencil in one hand, an eraser in the other, and pushes them forward. Sorry, she actually said "this is me" on that first voice line instead of when I pressed enter there.
シャーペンが美咲ちゃんで、消しゴムがみなもちゃんなんですか？あれ、違った？ノートのここがファースト V で、あれ？
Rise and shine, sleepyhead. It's lunchtime. Apparently, the girl is doing visualization training even while she sleeps. Her eyes flicker open and shut as she wriggles the pencil and eraser around in the air.
異国の山奥に暮らす民族が妖精を呼び出そうとしているかのような手つきだ。だからみなもちゃんが上で、私が下で。怖いよ。
Halfway through her sentence, Misaki slumps forward and starts snoring.
美咲ちゃん気合が入ってますね。エアキックターンも10回に1回は成功するようになりましたし、ここまで気合が入ってるとちょっと引くよ。
Misaki's been frantically training her mind so that she'll be fine even without me as her second. God damn it, that's such a long, like, what do you call that? A grunt? A groan? I don't know. Whatever you're doing, Misaki. FC is coursing through her veins right now.
アスカちゃん、先にご飯を食べちゃおう。これは私らの力ではどうにもならないよ。でもここまで夢中になっちゃった人には何を言って
時は兄ちゃんと一緒でひなたくんの言うことしか聞かないんだから。
やっぱり愛の力でしょうか。
その力で兄ちゃんの受験勉強の面倒も見てほしいんだけど。
I don't think I can help with anything outside of FC, sadly.
じゃ私たちはご飯を先にいただきます。
頑張ってください。
Madoka takes Asuka away with her. I squat down in front of Misaki's desk and pull the pencil from her hand. What do you think Manawa-chan would do if you were flying close to the water like this?
その時は上からプレッシャーをかけながら。
Misaki moves to the eraser, still half asleep. What about in this situation?
その時はショートカットして逃げちゃって。まさや、顔が近い。
Oops, sorry.
教室でキスをされるのかと思っちゃったよ。
I'm not brave enough to do that.
度胸の問題？
Misaki sits up and places a hand on her cheek.
あんなに近づけられたら赤くなっちゃうよ。もう。
Woke you up at least. It's time for lunch. Misaki takes her lunchbox out of her desk and taps the edge of it with a finger.
ここがファースト V で、ここがセカンドで。
Give your brain a rest while you eat.
逆。ご飯を食べる時くらいは考えないと。もう試合は明後日なんだから。
Looks like there's absolutely no need for me to give her that final push. I wonder just how much stronger Misaki has gotten through all this. I have to hurry up and get to where she is. My chest throbs. I'm going to make it. I swear. Who was the hero of Shito again? I think that was Shindo-san, right? I look up at the brilliant blue sky. Though it's nice and sunny, we've clearly left summer behind. It's still warm enough for short sleeves, but the sun is losing strength. No longer do its rays prickle at my skin. I'd still hesitate to call this a clear autumn day, however. That's the kind of in-between weather we have. The perfect weather to play FC. Misaki and Prez are field flying to warm up. Both of them seem to be in good form, which is a relief for now. Shirase-san scratches the back of his head as he looks around.
いやー、高藤の練習場を借りられてよかった。施設も充実しているし、使い勝手のいい場所だからね。
We're certainly not hard up for anything.
若いうちからこんな環境で練習できるなんて羨ましいな。僕が現役だった頃なんか、数人で金を出し合って V を海外から買って自分たちで管理してたんだ。
How much money was that? Back during the time when, you know, the sport was still in its infancy, I'd assume that everything would be very expensive. Not only have matches changed, but the playing environment has too.
それにしても
Shirase-san looks around once more.
こんなにギャラリーが集まっちゃったのは想定外だね。ただの練習試合でこんなことになるとは思ってなかった。
Usually, practice matches would only be observed by the players participating in their respective seconds. However, so many students have come to watch that it feels like half the BFC players on Shito are here. This might be Shindo-san's last match on Shito, so that's probably why everyone wanted to come and see it. Word must have gotten around about Shindo-san. Even the students from other academies seem aware that he'll be moving to Europe next year. Prez was right to call him the hero of Shito. How about you hold the Sky Sports Shirase Cup next year?
優勝者にはうちの店だけで使える3000円分の商品券をあげようかな。
That sounds good. Now that I think about it, where's Minamo-chan? I can see Misaki and Prez warming up, but...
みなもはもうアップを終えて離れたとこで精神統一してる。
Understood. Here's to a good match then. Shirase-san contracts and bows apologetically.
ここだけの話、今日の水面は調子があんまり良くないんだ。緊張でお腹を壊しちゃったみたいでさ。
Honestly, this guy. You're really trying to pull that stunt against me and Misaki?
そういうことってどういうことかな。
Shirase-san feigns ignorance. Maybe this is his way of declaring that he's taking the match seriously. Or maybe he's actually just being truthful, I don't know. Stop playing mind games, man.
お腹が痛い、お腹が痛い。でも試合はすると言っている水面がけなげでかわいそうでね。
Misaki will be going all out, irrespective of how Minamo-chan feels. That's all there is to it.
分かってる、分かってるよマサヤ。それでも心の片隅に水面の未来のことも置いといてくれ。
Okay, at this point, he's definitely playing us for a fool. I'm Misaki's second, so she's all I'll be thinking about. Again, here's to a good match. With a quick bow, I leave. I stare at my feet as I walk. Shirase-san really is taking this seriously. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll have prepared several knives for Misaki. It'll be a tough match, but with how Misaki is now, she should get through it. Whoa! I almost fell backward as I bumped shoulders with someone.
ああ、ひなたさん、ごめんなさい。私よそ見をしてて。
No sweat. Neither was I. Ichinose seems panicked. Is something wrong?
進藤先輩を見ました？
No, I haven't. Does that mean he's not here yet?
佐藤院先輩も来てないんです。もし佐藤院先輩が来なかったら、私が進藤先輩のセコンドをすることになるかもしれませんので、その時はよろしくお願いし。
Ichinose yelps as she looks behind me. Ah. I turn around and spot Shindo-san walking toward us. But that's not all. Walking right beside him is none other than Satoin-san. I rush over to the two of them. Hello there.
やあ、ひなたくん。遅れてすまなかった。
Satoin-san bows in such a beautiful manner that flowers almost seem to bloom behind her.
申し訳ありません。私のせいですわ。大切な試合ですから、念入りに準備のお手伝いをしていたら。
お疲れ様です。
Ichinose cries as she wedges herself in between us.
佐藤院部長。2週間も部に顔を出さないから心配しました。進藤部長と2人で秘密特訓をしていたんですよね。
そんなに目をキラキラさせながら顔をグイグイと近づけるのはおやめなさい。死闘での進藤部長の残り少ない試合ですから、全力でサポートしようとした結果、そうなってしまったのです。
One of the few? Is it me, or was this not meant to be the final match?
考えてみれば卒業までにはまだ時間があるからね。今日が最後と決める必要はないだろう。もちろん今日の試合で手を抜くような真似は絶対にしない。
Yeah, she probably is gonna challenge Shindo-san after that. Man, I feel like after the match with Prez, Shindo-san is gonna get challenged by a lot of people. Just a feeling I got because the title of the chapter is Hero of Shito. He's gonna be like, okay. I wouldn't have expected you to. You're not one to cut corners after you issue a challenge.
進化した進藤部長をお見せすることができると思いますわ。
そうできればいいんだけど。
Ichinose relaxes in relief.
よかった。仲直りしたんですね。
仲直り？何をおっしゃっているのかしら。私と進藤部長が喧嘩などするわけありませんわ。
I didn't think it was humanly possible to get as angry as she got back then. And now she's playing it off like it never happened?
そうですわね。
僕と佐藤君が喧嘩なんかするわけない。
Yeah, sure. Give me back those 15 minutes you made me waste, Satoin-san. Satoin-san glares sideways at Shindo-san.
佐藤ではなく佐藤院ですわ。
As much as I want to know what happened between the two of them, it's not something to be worrying about right before a match. Besides, they seem like they're back to normal. You'll be Shindo-san's second today then, Satoin-san.
当然ですわ。
She runs a hand through her hair, placing it on her neck.
新藤和成のセコンドをできるのは私だけですわ。誰にもそれを譲る気はありません。
She says haughtily, chest puffed out. I assumed the at least until he moves abroad bit goes without saying. Although she did scream about no longer being his second anymore the last time I saw her. Ichinose smiles as he pushes through her confusion.
そうですよね。当たり前ですわ。
Shindo-san takes a step toward me and looks up at the sky.
兄の調子はどうだい？
I, don't have any brothers? He giggles, pointing at Prez, who's still field flying.
マッスルブラザーズの兄だよ。
I'm pretty sure I refused to join the Muscle Brothers.
僕だってフィジカルを強くしたいしね。死闘の FC 部員で僕にあんな風に接してくれるのは青柳くんだけだ。親しい仲じゃないけど特別な兄貴ではあるさ。
Whatever, Shindo-san. Everyone respects him, and so they treat him differently. Everyone except Prez, that is. Prez acts the same with everyone after all. How long will you need to warm up?
走ってきたからもう体は温まっている。すぐにでも試合はできるよ。
Understood. You're not meant to talk to your opponent before a match, even practice ones, you know. Shindo-san nods.
着替えたらすぐに上がる。一応確認のためにフィールドを一周させてもらう。それが終わったら試合と行こう。
日向正也、よろしくお願いしますわ。
Likewise, here's to a good match. I tuck in my chin as I answer, then turn around. Asuka and the gang have come over for support, so I walk toward them while fiddling with my headset to make sure both players in the sky can hear me. Shindo-san's here, so come down for a moment. He wants to do a lap of the field once he's done changing. After that, we'll start the match.
了解。
わかった。
I purse my lips as I mentally psych myself up. Prez is gonna grab that moment of victory. We just have to hope it's there. Prez approaches Shindo-san, who's in position by the first boy.
よー、調子はどうだ？上々だよ。青柳くんは？そっちが上々なら、こっちは超上々だ。それを聞いて安心した。
Shindo-san glances at the referee before turning his attention to the second boy.
いつでもどうぞ。こっちもだ。
The referee confirms this with a large nod, calling out, "Ready, set." I could actually never understand when, like Japanese people do the ready, set, go thing. They always say it differently. Like, they don't say it like 3 times, right? They say it 2 times only. Both players lean forward at the exact same time. A second later, the whistle blows. Damn, like instantly right into the match, huh? Huh? Muttering spreads through the crowd. Prez went into a low yo-yo to make up for his low initial velocity. Only Shindo-san did the exact same thing. Yeah, see, only Shindo-san did the exact same thing. There should be a comma there. God. I'm not gonna complain too much about this translator. I'm gonna say that this translator is still better than the base game translator. So, there's that. But for sure, this guy needs to work on his sentence structure. What's more, they're flying in the same direction, straight toward the second boy. Why is Shindo-san going for the boy? Does he think he can outspeed Prez? Surely there's no chance of that happening.
スピードを追い求めてるのは君だけじゃないってことさ。
Both players begin to ascend. By the time they level off, Shindo-san has a decent lead. The skill gap between the two players has been made evident from the start. Prez is gradually speeding up, but he's not gaining as much as he should be. Wait a moment. Shindo-san's graph shoes are all-rounders, tuned to be more like speeder shoes. That's why his initial acceleration is faster than Prez's. Prez's shoes will have a far better top speed, but they take much longer to get going. Of course, there's a difference in ability between the two, but it's the difference in their graph shoes that's given Shindo-san the lead. Shit! It was hard to know what Shindo-san would be planning, but this has taken me by complete surprise. Though we had no idea how the game would eventually play out, we were certain that it would start off with Shindo-san shortcutting to block Prez in the next line. Prez! Consider Shindo-san a speeder today! Such confidence. His motivated cry comes through my headset. Right. Yeah, that is right. There's no reason to flounder. Prez only has one strategy available to him, no matter what Shindo-san is planning. Contact between players is prohibited on the first line, so once ahead of your opponent, you can weave in front of them to stop them overtaking. Summer. When he faced Inui in a contest of speed, Prez should have been the faster one, yet Inui got ahead and blocked him at every opportunity, stopping him from getting in front. Has Shindo-san shifted to being a speeder to copy what Inui did? Prez is picking up speed now, closing the gap with Shindo-san. But from where I'm standing, it would seem the second boy is out of his reach. Prez could use all of his speed right now, then continue charging on ahead. Would that work though? I clench my teeth together before opening my mouth. No, it's too early to reveal our strategy. The idea of taking the second boy then charging on ahead is an alluring one. But I made too many mistakes by giving into temptation before. We can't reveal our plans until the time is perfect. Give up the second boy if you have to. Just bear with it for now. Just make sure you get past him in the second line. Shindo-san touches the second boy. 0-1. Huh? Prez enters the second line shortly after Shindo-san, who spins 180 degrees to face him head-on. He's going to block Prez. So this is what Shindo-san wanted to test out. First, he wanted to see if he could take advantage of his initial speed to beat a speeder to the second boy. Now he's going to see if immediately turning the block is enough to gain control of the match. The speeder counter strategy could only come from a speeder tuned all-rounder like him. He's applying the positioning Asuka showed him at the joint training camp. The corners of Shindo-san's mouth curl up into an ominous yet interpret grin. Only, he's not smiling. The proof of that is the sharp glint in his eyes. He's simply concentrating so hard that his facial muscles have slackened. He's really going all out from the very start, huh? It's a good thing that Prez has been training just for this day. Ascend! Ooh, new music! Shito no Hero, so... yeah. This is his theme song, I guess. Probably not yours, sadly, Prez. I don't know whether or not he's gonna win. I'm really hoping he's gonna win because he's like... you know, the dark horse. Or not the dark horse. What's the word I'm looking for? God damn it. Something. The dark something. English is so hard when you actually want to say something, man. Prez has been backward and started to shoot upward before I even get the order out. This maneuver is difficult to pull off with Prez's graph shoes, even more so with their current settings. I can practically hear his spine creaking over the microphone. Shindo-san reacts without a moment's delay.
なるほどね。
進藤かかってこい。
言われなくても。
Shindo-san starts coiling upward, aiming for Prez's back. He reaches out, and the point field spreads out behind him. 0-2. Though Prez is thrown off balance, he uses the repulsion force to descend into a low yo-yo. His membrane settings make it hard to regain stability. He throws in several aileron rolls as he descends, somehow managing to catch his balance and then accelerates. Due to how high he'd flown, that touch on the back was just what he needed to escape. This is but one of the methods to escape a dogfight that we repeatedly trained for. It wouldn't matter if he'd been touched from the front, since the repulsion would have created distance between them either way. They were so high up that it was exceedingly likely that he'd be able to go into a low yo-yo.
上手になってるじゃないか、青柳くん。
Shindo-san immediately shortcuts to the third line.
1点。
Press touches the third boy and enters the third line. 1-2.
即するぜ。
So far, it seems Shindo-san is still in control and he knows what's going on. So that point was actually like a risk he was willing to take. Shindo-san rotates at an elevated position above the third line as he waits. Things have finally ended up the way we expected them to. Prez accelerates. No one can block a player going this fast. Not unless they've seen it before. Go, Prez, go! Huh? Shindo-san doesn't position himself to block. He flies level above Prez, bobbing up and down behind him as if testing his own position. Naturally, he can't keep up with Prez's speed, and soon has to shortcut to the fourth line. What's going on here? Did he just give up the point? Shindo-san would never do that without a fight. So what's he playing at?
よっしゃ。同点。
Press touches the boy. 2-2. I try not to let my confusion show as I call the Prez. Keep it going!
同点。
Shindo-san, having finished shortcutting, is now rotating at a slightly higher elevation than previously.
このラインももらうぜ。
Is he like testing or trying to find out his maximum speed or something? Press piles into speed and charges dead ahead, completely ignoring Shindo-san above him.
じゃあ、そろそろ行くよ。
Something feels wrong. Savagery tinges Shindo-san's smile. Shindo-san starts to descend right before Prez passes underneath him. So he's not trying to block from in front, but from above? That means he's using Inui's tactics against a speeder. He's coming from above. Try and throw him off.
Okay.
Press throws in vertical scissors so as not to drop speed. His graph shoes... I think that's actually supposed to be shoes. Settings make it impossible for him to perform horizontal scissors. Shindo-san raises his hips to brake as he carefully aims for Prez's back. Shit! Horizontal scissors would throw off his aim, but vertical ones basically give him one fixed line to attack from. That said, we can't reveal our hand just yet. It's too early. I clench my fist around the leg of my pants. He's coming from above. Don't bother dodging. If you get touched, low yo-yo and keep aiming for the boy.
よし。少々。
So the same strategy as before. If you find yourself unable to avoid being touched, then you may as well make it happen at an advantageous altitude. Prez was always going to be repulsed downward here, so by ascending before the touch, there should be a comma there. He can cut down how much he needs to ascend to get level with the boy again. The point field spreads out behind Prez. 2-3. Prez's posture gets shaken, but he manages to use the repulsion to accelerate downward. Nice! He recovered even quicker than in practice. That shows how hard he's concentrating. Now his speed can carry him to the boy and make it level again. We'll reveal our hand on the next line. With how long's left, we should... Huh? I only took my eyes off Shindo-san for a moment to check that Prez had regained his balance. And that's when the audience erupts. Kuroi Heavy, I think that's like Black Snake. Shindo-san should have been repulsed upward, his form ruined, but he's already chasing down Prez with a low yo-yo. What on earth happened while I was looking away? He's right behind you again! The point field spreads out behind Prez once more. 2-4. Shindo-san uses the repulsion from the touch much like he would from a boy to smoothly ascend. He then immediately air kick turns to launch himself right back at Prez. How is this even possible? My chest hurts. My throat's dry. What Shindo-san's doing isn't simply copying Inui. Oh no. He intends to start dogfighting with speeder-inclined graph shoes. How is that even possible? He controlled his posture enough to use the repulsion from a back touch to ascend. Then he used that momentum to go into an air kick turn and gain another point. One mistake in that series of moves would have resulted in disaster. Most people would never think of trying something so risky. And yet, Shindo-san is. I'm sure he's been obsessed with these thoughts since he lost to Inui. It's amazing. Not just that he pulled it off, but that he even came up with the idea in the first place. Yeah. I pound my chest with my fist. Who cares about Shindo-san? We're going for a win. Think! Think! Think, damn you! That's what a second is for. Think, damn it! This is no time to be awestruck. It has to be now. I'm sure Shindo-san thinks the game is playing out exactly the way he wants it to. If not that, then he certainly doesn't expect us to be able to counter a brand new skill immediately. The thing is, Prez can do it. Prez probably doesn't know what just happened, and I don't have time to explain. I need you to trust me. Then use our trump card. Shindo-san's coming from above. Don't look back. If Prez were to check on Shindo-san's position, then he might get cautious and not come at us with the same move. Wait for my mark. Shindo-san descends with no hesitation. He keeps closing in on Prez's back without even fainting. One mistake will ruin everything. That's why he's not doing anything he doesn't need to. Wait, so what exactly... Like, I know that we're supposed to be using the membrane, right? But does that mean like we're gonna switch the settings right now, just like what Inui did on her match? With Asuka, I mean? Isn't he like already using the settings from the get-go? Or is that not the case? Focus. Observe. Shindo-san reaches out to touch, but his reach is shallow. It's just an extended arm. No twist of the hips or shoulder to give him extra reach. He must need to keep his posture stable in order to react to the repulsion from the touch, leaving him no other choice. Essentially, what it means is that his movements are going to be much duller than someone going for a touch usually. Yeah, look at this! Look at the sentence! Oh my god! This freaking sentence structure! Oh my goodness. Yeah. I restrain the impatience in my heart as I delay my order for half a breath. It has to be that instant before Shindo-san's hand reaches Prez. That split second. Now! Prez immediately twists. Oh, he's talking about that Shunkaido thing. The instant transmission thing. I know Shindo-san had to be concentrating hard just then. That would have narrowed his field of view. As far as you can see, Prez would have simply up and vanished. Shindo-san twists his hips while swinging his arm out behind him. His immediate judgment being that, if the opponent is no longer in front, then he must be behind. Impressive, but too late. The point field spreads out behind Shindo-san. Nice! Shrieks and applause resound from the audience a moment later. 3-4. Shindo-san's back twists from the impact. His balance completely thrown as he gets sent flying forward. I don't think I've ever seen him so completely and utterly What? I don't think I've ever seen him so completely and utterly concede a point before. Sorry. The is actually obstructed by my like headphone stand, so I couldn't see it. I'm like, huh? Concede point before? That's so weird.
秘密兵器を持ってんのはお前だけじゃないんだぜ
Prez yells as he heads toward the first boy.
そのようだね。
Shindo-san regains his form and shortcuts to the first line.
何をされたのか教えてくれ。
タッチしようとした瞬間、急に青柳シオンが不自然に右側へと半円を描くようにして移動したのです。
Oh, really? That's literally just what happened? Okay. It's a semicircle, alright.
右側どうやって移動したんだろう。
体を縮める動きはありませんでしたから、メンブレン系の技ではないと思いますが。でも、メンブレンを利用したのがなければ、あんな動きは不可能だと思うのですが。
Okay, so I'm guessing because he was turning to the right and he had the left membrane a lot more powerful than the right. Basically, I guess the membrane just amplifies his movement, right? Is what I assume happened.
彼は右に動いた。
ええ、間違いありませんわ。
Yeah, he's already thinking about ways to counter that because there's no way we could do it from the left.
右に半円を描くように少し分かった気がする。初見で対応できるかな。
それをやるのが進藤部長だと信じていますわ。
佐藤君は厳しいね。
これは乾咲選手の時とは違います。このくらいのことで動揺してほしくありませんわ。
あの時も今も動揺しているつもりはないけどね。
だったらそれらしくやってください。あと佐藤いいんですわ。
本当に厳しいな。佐藤院君、もちろんやるさ。
Though Madoka and the rest had described the technique as a superpower, we settled on calling it clockwise. Really? That's really the name? Imagine, if you will, curling your middle finger into your palm, then pushing out against your thumb, holding it in place. The moment you let go with your thumb, your middle finger will go flying upward. This technique is not dissimilar to a flick of the finger. Thanks to the unbalanced settings on Press's graph shoes, an intense amount of pressure builds up on his right hand side during normal flight. He has to physically fight against it the whole time. What this means is that when he stops fighting against it, he's able to immediately move to the right. He doesn't reach speeds too extreme or anything, but it's a movement so out of left field that Shindo-san would never have been able to predict it. The onlookers stir with commotion once more. Yeah, so what my thoughts on how it happened was true. After he told me that it was a semicircle to the right, like it was easy to understand what the hell is happening. Because he didn't teleport from the back. Or to the back. Press touches the first boy and turns sharply into the next line without dropping speed. No other player has ever seen a move like that before. 4-4. 4 minutes left and the score is even. I had hoped to build up a solid lead in the early game, but keeping our trump card hidden until this moment has its advantages. Prez has a solid shot at winning. Shindo-san reaches the center of the first line shortly after Prez enters it and quickly assumes the height advantage. It would seem he still intends to fly parallel above Prez and aim for his back rather than attempting to block head-on. He's coming from above. Don't bother trying to throw him off. This time when you dodge, don't go for the touch. On my mark.
Okay.
Shindo-san uses gravity to accelerate. Prez also descends to draw out the time before they meet. Only Shindo-san could pull this off against an opponent flying so fast. Most players would either end up descending behind their opponent, or being overly cautious and end up descending in front of them. His timing is perfect. But we're aiming to win this ourselves. Now! Nice! Shindo-san must have expected us to go for his back. He immediately reacted by twisting around, only to find that Prez was nowhere in sight. I gave my order slightly earlier than before. Prez's semicircle took him right to the side of Shindo-san instead. Shindo-san must have expected Prez to go all the way around him again, but we betrayed his expectations and made his counter ineffective. So even Shindo-san can't deal with this, huh? Even though he managed to counter Asuka's sonic boost with a suicida. Admittedly, he saw Asuka making preparations and likely knew that she was going to use the sonic boost beforehand. However, this time Shindo-san only learned of the move during the game, and I doubt he's worked out what Prez does to prepare yet. No normal player would be able to counter it immediately. So if he like you know, he can not delay, he can use the amount of force, or what's the word I'm looking for? He can not gauge. He can stop midway basically, right? He can let the force of the membrane guide him towards very much to the back of him if he goes like full semicircle, but he can actually stop midway is what I'm trying to say. Prez assumes a deep, bent forward posture as he charges on ahead, leaving Shindo-san behind.
すぐに追いついてみせるさ。
まさかこんな展開になるなんて。青柳さん強い。でも私たち高藤学園 FC 部のヒーローは、この死闘の絶対王者は新藤部長です。みんなあなたの強さに憧れて高藤で FC をやってるんです。乾さんに負けても FC が変わっても常に挑戦をやめない強い部長の背中を追いたいんです。だからいつものように勝ってください。
I was waiting for him to say Shindo Bucho, but she didn't say it.
すごい、兄ちゃんが新藤さんに追いついた。新藤さんは強い。FC 部のマネージャーをやるようになった今ならそれがわかるよ。秋の大会で優勝、準優勝は美咲とアスカちゃんだった。でも新藤さんとは戦ってない。うちの部員は誰も新藤さんに勝ったことがないんだ。
That's actually true. We did beat Inui, but she was using a technique that not everyone was actually using, so I guess that's why she was also able to beat Shindo-san. Because he wasn't prepared for that sort of technique.
どんなに兄ちゃんが努力しても追いつけない人だってことも分かってる。でもだから。
Prez doesn't slow down before the second boy, touching it and taking a sharper turn into the second line than any spear in the world ever has. 5-4. Wow, they actually have a freaking vocals for this OST. We've turned things around. My legs are trembling more and more. Asuka's flying form is beautiful. Shindo-san's flying form is graceful. Misaki's flying form is magnificent. Strong players have the most elegant flying forms. That comes from how they can relax while they fly, I think. It's when you look at them easily shifting in whichever direction they please that you realize the elegance of it. However, there's nothing elegant about Prez. His form is based on pure strength. His form uses excess force to ensure that he's flying as fast as possible. This is made even worse by his imbalanced membrane. To be frank, his form is ugly. I mean, do people care about how ugly a form is when you like sprint to the last line on like the Tour de France? I don't think so, Masaya. But then again, like I said, it's a different sport. And yet there he is, flying freely through the sky. Not even Shindo-san has a hope of catching him. My heart creaks like two sheets of iron being rubbed together. Fuck! Shit! I'm so jealous! Here and now, in this moment, the sky belongs to Prez. I know this moment will soon be over. We're talking about Shindo-san. He probably already understands the theory behind the clockwise. I'll do everything I can to make Prez's moment last as long as possible. Go and win this, Prez! Make my jealousy burn! Shindo-san shortcuts to the second line and immediately starts chasing Prez from above. Prez is going so fast that Shindo-san didn't have even a millisecond to prepare himself. We only have one trick left hidden. Prez's imbalanced membrane makes it impossible to make slight movements, so we can't use feints to throw Shindo-san off. Which means it's time to play our hand. We'll go for the counter clock next. Will your body hold up? Counter clock, so we can actually go from the left too? I mean, I guess it's technically the same move, but you gotta just do a different direction, right? Or you actually have to force... Actually, yeah, you probably... this is probably harder because you have to use a lot of force to... Huh. How does this one actually work? Like, the clockwise is very easy to understand because you just don't like fight the resistance anymore so that you get fling backward. But don't you like just have to force your way through if you want to go to the left this time? Fair enough. Going all out here is the only choice we've ever had. Understood. On my mark. Shindo-san begins to descend, closing the distance between them. I wait for the perfect timing to use the counterclockwise, or counterclock for short. If you can get away from Shindo-san here, you have a 2-point lead from touching the boy. As long as I keep giving the right instructions, victory will be in the palm of our hands. Shindo-san closes in, but doesn't reach out. It seems he's waiting till the last possible second to see what Prez will do. It would be much easier for me to gauge the distance if he just reached out. When's it coming? Still not yet? Damn it, Shindo-san! You're right there! Just reach out! Just reach out already! Make the first damn move! Calm down. Be patient. Don't rush. He's pushed to his limit. Shindo-san just reached out! Now! Prez moves left with all his might. At that moment, Shindo-san nimbly retracts his outstretched arm. Huh? Was it all just a feint to make me give the wrong instruction? Prez has already started to move. I can't change instruction now. I just have to believe. All of a sudden, Prez turns to the right as he was able to disregard the very law of inertia. How? He feints left, then goes right. The idea being that anyone would instinctively react to such a forceful initial movement. Okay, so this is the counter clock. So you actually... that's why I was wondering how the hell can he do the counter clock, right? That's not possible. He'd have to use like super power to actually go to the left side because he's fighting the resistance. So he moves left a bit and then he actually removes the power so that he goes right again. Okay, so that's actually his feint. There's a pitch in baseball known as the changeup. It's where you adopt the form required for a straight ball, but then throw a slow ball instead. This is the same. Even if the opponent knows it's physically impossible for Prez to go left, they're going to instinctively react. At least, that was the theory. The point field spreads out behind Prez. 5-5. He completely read our movements. Though he did instinctively react to the left, he kept his center of gravity shifted right, which let him easily get at Prez's back. Yeah, so the counterclock was basically just a feint with the clockwise. Shindo-san continues at high speed. He turns the repulsion from the touch into an air kick turn, shooting himself right back toward Prez's open back. How's he able to do this? Stop! 5-6. Prez has been touched twice in quick succession, completely breaking his form. His imbalanced membrane only serves to expedite the matter. Spread out your limbs and regain balance. You can't use your techniques like this. Yeah. If he starts going at a high speed with his balance this messed up. Stop! Now's not the time for that. There's only one thing I should be thinking of. Use gravity to descend rapidly while regaining balance. Prez dives almost vertically toward the water. His form is so broken that he's essentially falling from the sky. But as long as he can get his form back, if he can do that now, there's a chance. He can still do this. Wait, we still have another trick up our sleeve? What else is there? Shindo-san regains his balance and once more closes down on Prez. Prez is regaining his balance, but he's getting close to the water. If he hits it, he'll lose all his speed and ruin his form again. But for the sake of his speed, he needs to maintain this form until the last possible second. Otherwise, he has no hope of winning. I'm grinding my teeth. How far can he go? What's his limit? Can he do this? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Start ascending. He grinds into an ascent. I can hear each of his muscles individually screaming. The creaking, the tearing, the ripping. Yet the noise isn't unpleasant. It's his body crying out for him to make it. There's no way Prez doesn't regain his form after how far he's come. Simply no way. Do it! So he goes up. What is he doing? With a splash, a column of water shoots upward. Did he not make it? Okay, so he was trying to regain his balance, so he was still going down. And he's trying to ascend, right? No, he can still do this. If he doesn't actually... I don't know. Like, just like what happened to Asuka, right? She fell to the water, but she was still not inside of the water. So the membrane still repulses the water, right? Then out of the raised water... Yeah, see, this can still happen. So he barely did it. That was like the force of his like air pressure. Comes Prez shooting at top speed. The membrane must have grazed the water's surface, but he didn't slam into it. Yes! Prez shoots upward straight toward the third boy. 20 seconds! You can do it! I don't think we can actually go faster than speed, but sure thing, man. Yeah! He's ascending at an unbelievable speed, accelerating all the while. Prez can make it! Shindo-san wedges himself between the third boy and Prez. Shindo-san goes in for the block. Should we use clockwise to dodge? No, we don't have the time for it. And Shindo-san can read it anyway. In which case... Prez shoots past Shindo-san's right-hand side. Nice! He feinted with just his shoulder and his gaze. Shindo-san read that as a counterclock and completely fell for it. He only saw the move for the first time, and it's left enough of an impression to put him on guard for it. It's no wonder he fell for the feint under those conditions. Prez flies by Shindo-san, making a direct charge with the third boy. You can do it! Go! Go, damn it! Shindo-san yells in an even more fearsome voice than he used against Asuka at the summer tournament. An air kick turn! He thrusts his arm forward. I actually called him Prez too? I mean, supposedly Prez, but technically President is the same. Yeah, I guess Prez and Bucho, we could probably call him Bucho too, right? We call out in unison. Shindo-san's hand grazes against Prez's thigh. For a moment, time stands still. A burning heat gradually rises from the pit of my stomach to my throat. Prez! I scream as time starts moving again.
今日は勝たせてもらう
The two bounce apart, losing their balance. Prez uses gravity to start descending.
ひなた時間は
Ugh. The words catch in my throat as the whistle signals at the end of the match. The end of the match. Prez slams his fist into his thigh, right where Shindo-san had touched him a moment before. That air kick turn wasn't something that could be done spur of the moment. He decided to move into it already if Prez didn't go to his right. His mind was made up before Prez even got to him. If I'd known that in advance, I could have given instructions. Or if I hadn't messed up with the counterclock. If I'd just been a better second. Fuck it all! Prez should have had it! Shindo-san glides over to Prez.
僕が想像していたよりずっと強かった。試合ができて本当に良かったよ。
勝ったら勝ち逃げしようと思ってたのにな。負けたから言うけど、これで終わりじゃないだろうな。
青柳くんが FC を続けているならいつかまたやることもあるさ。
言っておくけど、俺はプロになろうなんて思ってないし、なれるとも思ってないぞ。
試合をするのにプロもアマも関係ないよ。それに青柳くんはマッスルブラザーズの兄貴だろ。兄には敬意を払うつもりでいる。
Prez stares at Shindo-san in surprise. A thick sigh turns into a smile. Oh, that was certainly a match. Ooh, that was probably the most technical match so far that the game has to offer. Not even something from the base game was able to, like, I actually was shouting instructions at Prez in this match. Unlike, you know, what was going on in the base game. I guess in the base game I was doing so, but I don't think I was doing it as much. I was mostly narrating what the hell was going on, right? Prez descends towards Satoin-san and Shindo-san descends toward me.
こんな古式ゆかしい作戦を使ってくるとは思わなかった。
Not one we can really use in a tournament, is it? You have to pay so much attention to your right flank to fly safely that it'd probably be outlawed. Only in an unofficial match like this does it have any use. Nevertheless, we really managed to put Shindo-san in a tight spot using it. Maybe we made the imbalance less pronounced, we'd be allowed to use it in a tournament.
嫌な汗が流れたよ。
He says happily. I think he must have the same whatever it is that Asuka does. You were trying to dogfight in speeder-tuned graph shoes?
飛沢くんが相撲を開発したように、僕は乾選手に勝つためにこれを考えたんだ。僕は全局面でスピードを優先する。
In all circumstances.
全局面スピード重視。それが僕の答えだ。
That's the sort of thing a kid would think when they just learned about FC. Using incredible speed to both go after the boys and dogfight with. It sounds fanciful, but today I was shown a glimpse of it in reality. Fanciful? That's a word? If he can perfect the technique, he'll dominate. Though it's certainly a brittle technique, like an elaborate work of glass, the slightest impact could have it shattering into a million pieces. I'm sure he knows that himself. That isn't stopping him from trying to implement this strategy. Why did you not pursue Prez at the end there, when he started to descend?
行動練習の時の佐藤院君みたいに僕を叱るつもりかな?
So he actually calls her Satoin when she's not around, huh? What's the deal with that? I don't mean to scold you or anything. I was just wondering, since that would have been your chance to seal your victory. Perhaps he'd been curious to see if Prez had any more tricks left up his sleeve. That would piss me off, actually.
負けたくなかったから。
Huh? What do you mean by that?
あそこで追撃したら右側へ急速移動する技でタッチされるかもしれない。
It wasn't the right situation to.
僕はあの技を見るのは初めてだ。どの姿勢から出せて出せないのか知らない。
He has a point, admittedly.
あの時間で1点リードしていた。勝ちを優先するなら危険を冒す必要はない。負けてもいいと思っているなら危険に踏み込んだかもしれないけどね。
So that's what's going on. It was Shindo-san's desire to win that stopped him from pressing. My heart feels lighter now.
日向君。
Yes? I guess the thing is, like, when people say, like, why didn't you chase after them, it's like, it's akin to, like, why didn't you finish them off, right? Because when they were doing that, they could probably try to get another point by reaching for their back. But yeah, what Shindo-san says makes a lot of sense. Because he was being careful.
君と試合をするのは死闘、いや海の向こうでかもしれないね。
Yeah. I'm left speechless. Shindo-san smiles, then leaves. Press has finished talking to Satoin-san and come over to me. I bow to him. You could have won. I messed up. Out of all the times I've made mistakes, this might be the worst possible one. How many times am I gonna mess up before I'm done? Press claps me on the back.
勝ちたかったな。いやー、勝ちたかった。日向のミスってことはないだろう。それに日向がセコンドだからここまでできたんだ。
Thank you very much.
悔しいけどな。すげえ悔しいけどな。なんかその先も見えた気がしてな。心が広がったような変な気分だ。
Man, I also want him to win. I was like so amped up during like giving the instructions too. So close. The future, you say?
悔しいから俺はまだ FC をやるんだろうなと思うぞ。もし勝ってたらスーパーフライに転向していたかもしれん。だけど FC は面白いな。
Yes, it certainly does. When I look at Prez right now, I can say truly that FC is fun, just like Asuka can.
すごい試合でした。感動しました。見たことない展開がいっぱいでドキドキしました。進藤さんとあんなすごい試合をするなんて部長って強かったんですね。
強くはないぞ。
謙遜しなくていいですってば。今日の兄ちゃんは強かったっていいと思うけど。
そうですよ。まどかなんか応援しながら泣きそうになってたもんね。
泣きそうにはなってない。
とにかく俺は強くはないぞ。進藤は本気じゃなかったからな。
進藤さんは本気だったと思いますけど。
私も本気でやってるように見えましたよ。
本気の意味が違うな。新しいことを試すという意味では本気だったろうけど、いつも通りに頭を押さえに来たら俺はひどい負け方をしたかもしれないぞ。
Actually, that might be true. He was trying a lot of new stuff, especially at the beginning. We can't know that for sure, but it's certainly possible. Considering they were both trying out new techniques for the first time, it's miraculous how it all came together for the match.
それにこいつは一回やってしまったらもう通用しない技だ。勝ちたいだけの技で強いというのとは話が違う。
Damn, he's actually very self-aware. That's what you'd call a fluke, true.
でも今日の部長が強くなかったらなんかいろいろと困っちゃいますよ。
飛びさ
なんでしょうか。
Prez goes to say something, but stops himself and swings around to face me. He whispers into my ear. Huh? Yeah, of course.
いや、一応許可を取っておかないと気まずいかと思ってな。
Is he gonna challenge Misaki? Gender is hardly something to be worried about here, is it? Prez once again turns to face Misaki.
飛びさありがとうな。
Oh, okay.
なんだこれ。
I don't know myself. Prez clumsily ruffles Misaki's hair.
飛び沢がいなかったら俺はあんな風に飛べなかった。夏の間一緒に練習してくれてありがとうだ。そしてこれは俺の魂の注入だ。なんつうか悔しくてな。まだ飛びたいんだよ俺。
This guy is literally like you know, a sports manga, like not protagonist, I'd say, like definitely a character from a freaking sports manga though.
進学の準備があるからしばらくは無理だ。前に飛沢は夏休みのお礼がしたいって言っただろ。だったら俺の魂を乗っけて試合してくれ。
はい。
魂注入だ。
部長の魂受け取りました。
じゃあ私の魂も乗せてよ。
Madoka places her hand on Misaki's head.
なんか弱くなってしまいそうだにゃ。
私も乗せます。というかいつだって遠慮なく私の魂を奪ってくれていいんですからね。
そこまで遠慮のない人間関係は困るにゃ。
私も乗車していいでしょうか。
Mashiro and then Asuka follow suit by putting their hands on Misaki's head.
乗車って自動車じゃないんだから。というかアスカとマシロは現役なんだから自分の魂は自分で管理するように。
美咲先輩に乗せて戻ってきた魂は強くなって帰ってきます。ご利益がありそうです。ナムナムナム。
飛沢神社でも作ろうかな。
兄ちゃんの受験がうまくいきますよ
その願いは重荷だな。
うに。マサヤさんは乗せなくていいんですか？
Sure, why not? Everyone from Kunahama Academy's FC Club is here with their hand on Misaki's head.
きっとこれで美咲ちゃんも強くなったし私たちも強くなりました。
まあそんな気がするかもね。
そんな気じゃなくて強くなったって思うべきでしょ。
そうだね。よし私は強くなった。
みなもちゃんも強くなってるぞ飛沢。
Misaki gives a huge nod before stretching out onto her tiptoes.
じゃそろそろ行くから。
Damn, this chapter is gonna be freaking action-packed. 2 freaking FC matches in a single chapter? What the? Everyone pulls back their hands and Misaki looks up sharply at the sky.
飛ぶにゃん。
Misaki flies into the sky, with everyone's wishes pushing her onward. Go and win this, Misaki. Win this, and confirm you found the right answer in the sky. Oh my god, that's a chapter? Oh my god. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for like Minamo-chan's chapter to actually be called Hero of Shito, but I didn't expect that to be its own chapter. God damn! We are at, I think, Let me actually, I'll tap and see how many achievements we got. This is not good. We're at 11 out of 16 achievements. Oh no. Oh no. Things are getting pretty fast right now. And I'm actually gonna have to call it an episode right here. Man, I can't wait for next week. Shit, we might actually be able to finish Misaki's extra route or after story next week. If this is how it goes. Damn. One of a kind. That was a very intense match though. Jeez. I can even feel the frustration from losing that too. Which wasn't really apparent, like I said, from the base game. We weren't really giving too many instructions in the base game. That was the first time we actually gave like super precise instructions. In my opinion. I think we were giving instructions to Ganeko-san too. Or when we were facing off against Ganeko-san. But it didn't really give me a sense of frustration unlike this one. I don't know, I guess this one was a lot more hyped up than the Ganeko match. But man, I could see why someone in the comments said that this after story or this extra route actually had one of the craziest matches, and it definitely goes in depth into FC and whatnot. And I could see that. And because FC was part of the reason, or actually the main reason why I like the story in the first place, this is hyping me up. So far, like, we're probably 70% of the game now, and I am not disappointed. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, though. Hopefully, the game would keep surpassing my expectations. So far, my expectations have been met, but I haven't super been blown away, right? But then again, that's just what's going to happen when you have such high expectations of something. But even that, when you have high expectations and you're not disappointed, that's already an achievement in itself. With that though, I think this is gonna be where I call it an episode. Tomorrow, I'll be doing the common route for Venus Wet Frontier for the Chaos route. For people on Patreon anyway. For people on YouTube, you guys won't be seeing that until Aokana is fully finished. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access along with everything uncensored. Which so far there's only 2 8 scenes and they're all very good. This is one of the like ones, or this is one of those times where I'm like, yeah, 8 scenes in visual novels is a-okay. The base game, just play all ages, guys. The 8 scenes really ruined the pacing. And also, for people on YouTube, if you guys are not on Patreon just yet, do feel free to follow me there as a free member, because that's going to be where I put first episode previews of future playthroughs. See you guys.